We used to think that zombies are a figment of the imagination of writers and directors who want to capitalize on our fear of the living dead. They really are one of the most popular inhabitants of the horror genre. Vampires only compete. The image of a walking corpse has permeated everywhere, in movies, computer games, and music. For me, zombies are primarily associated with the legendary song by the Cranberries. But zombies aren't as primitive as they seem. These are not just half-decomposed corpses in rags. They are both a profitable commercial product, a powerful archetype, and a tool of social criticism. That's why I decided to release this video not on Halloween, but later, so that you would take the topic as seriously as possible. Today I will tell you where zombies come from, how, theoretically, you can create your own zombie at home, why zombies pose a threat to the political order, and, most importantly, why their idea can be quite real. You are on a channel where interesting stories are not only told, but also tried to explain. First, let's figure out where zombies came from in Western culture. The word itself entered the English language at the beginning of the 19th century from Brazil. African slaves were brought to South and Central America and used on plantations. In one of the Gabonese languages, there is a word, nzumbi, just corpse, dead, without mystical connotations. A belief came from the people of the Congo. The human soul can remain in our world, and this idea attracted the attention of the colonial public. Over time, different beliefs mixed, beliefs of Africans with local and European traditions. Catholic missionaries often forcibly baptized slaves, which led to syncretic religions, a mixture of elements of Christianity and African cults. The most famous such syncretism is Haitian voodoo. Similar cults are Condom, Voodoo Venti, Santeria, etc. They share an important trait: animism, belief in souls and spirits. If souls exist, then you can try to control them. This was often done by special magicians, Bakora. Among other things, the Bakor were believed to be able to create zombies. Imagine, you are a black magician. Why do you need a living corpse? The answer is simple. For housework, for routine tasks, if there is no robot vacuum cleaner or live help. Real people demand payment and demands in return. The workers on the plantations are busy, so it's easier to have an inexpensive zombie servant. To create a zombie, use a special powder or potion. Mix herbs, shells, fish, bones, and other ingredients. The resulting substance may contain tetrodotoxin, a strong neurotoxin found, for example, in the tissues of pufferfish. It blocks breathing, paralyzes muscles, and disrupts thinking. If the dose is calculated incorrectly, you can kill a person. If the dose is chosen subtly, the victim will fall into a state indistinguishable from death. He lies motionless, does not show signs of life. Later, the effect of the poison will weaken, and the person will come back to life. But internal damage to the nervous system can be serious. The newly minted zombie will lose the ability to live in society and will be capable only of simple physical work, carrying heavy loads, plowing the earth, washing household premises. The effect resembles a lobotomy. It leaves a minimum of intelligence and willpower. The Haitians did not know about neurotoxins, so they explained the phenomenon in their own way. The drug allegedly deprives a person of his soul and then resurrects the body. That's how it turns out to be a zombie, a man without a soul. But ordinary residents diligently stayed away from such creatures and came up with legends. They say zombies do not need food and sleep. In fact, aggressive zombies were rarely considered. Fear was more likely related to the association with black magic. Today, only a small part of voodoo adherents still believe in literal zombies. The myth is gradually being dispelled, although in some communities the beliefs are alive. In other cultures, the idea of a spiritless being has been transformed in different ways. In some mythologies, zombies are receptacles of negative spirits. The body is empty, but forces that need to interact with the material world settle in it. Then the spirits inhabit soulless bodies, for example, corpses, and receive a means of manifestation. Examples of such ideas can be found among the Slavs. References to Navi people, souls left in another world. There is a whole checklist of reasons why a person may not find peace. Witchcraft, grave sins, suicide, unfinished business. All this connected Nav with the image of a ghost or zombie. Christianity and other world religions also had similar fears. The archetype of a living corpse turned out to be too strong to simply disappear. Over time, it migrated from folk beliefs into popular culture and became a fodder base for the entertainment industry. Minced meat was made from the myth, and many variations were molded. The history of cinema knows many examples. In 1929, the American William Seabrook published essays on life in Haiti. There he described the dead working on plantations. This topic caused a furor in the West. There were zombie photos, publications, then the first movie, White Zombie. The entertainment industry quickly picked up the trend. In the following decades, dozens of zombie paintings were released, although many of them were far from masterpieces. The real revolution in the genre happened in the late 1960s. Night of the Living Dead by George Romero set a new direction. His zombies turned from working corpses into bloodthirsty monsters, hungry for flesh and brains, and became a powerful metaphor. At the same time, Romero himself described his creatures as ghouls, soulless creatures, and his interpretation had a huge impact on subsequent films, games, and literature. In the 1990s and 2000s, the wave was revived. The Resident Evil series of games, the films 28 Days Later, the TV series The Walking Dead, and other works once again made zombies the central theme. Games, in turn, began to influence movies. Zombies became faster, smarter, stronger. Today, the hype around zombies has subsided. The genre has become less dominant. But the archetype of the living dead has come a long way in 90 years, from a laborer and a weak-willed servant to a meat-eating monster, and finally, to a symbol of social and political problems. Why is the zombie image so deeply ingrained in culture? Part of the explanation is simple. It's scary. But the fear of zombies is more complicated than it seems. It doesn't come down to the fear of being eaten. Zombies are intimidated primarily as other, something that is radically different from us. The unknown and the inability to understand the inner world of the other is what causes the main horror. In the zombie concept, fear is combined with the fear of death and the loss of one's own will. The idea that someone can knock you unconscious and make you a puppet is paralyzing. Therefore, many people are afraid not so much of being killed by zombies as of becoming one. On the screen, zombies often don't just kill their victims. They subjugate them, deprive them of subjectivity. It's more terrible than a simple death. Plus, the psychological effect of the sinister valley. Creatures that resemble humans, but are not quite human, cause rejection. Evolutionarily, this could be a mechanism that helps to avoid sick relatives. Diseases are more often visible by external signs: ulcers, gangrene, altered gaze. Modern authors deliberately reinforce these signs to make zombies look like a person is not okay. And this works on an unconscious level. Step aside, better run. There are also natural examples of zombification. Some fungi capture insects and control their behavior, turning ants into puppets. This shows that the mechanism of deprivation of will is possible in nature, and the public imagination plays on it. But the image of a zombie is not only fear and disgust, it has become a convenient metaphor. The left and the right use it in different ways. Some see zombies as an allegory of the working class enslaved by the system, others as a criticism of a consumer society where people seem to devour each other and have turned into walking consumers themselves. In Night of the Living Dead, the character's survival takes place in a shopping mall, and the dead go there too. This is symbolic. People in their previous lives lived for consumption, and even after death, go to the shops. In politics, the label zombie is used to deprive an opponent of the right to subjectivity. He has been zombified. He is a puppet. And this is dangerous, because the logical step is to restrict rights. Paradoxically, zombies were originally a metaphor for the oppressed, but now their image is often applied to those who want to be deprived of their voice. In conclusion, if you were scared or interested, share this video with your loved ones.